lost my best friend to 23. She left her body and hovered above me. I saw no shadow, I looked around, searched every building and home that I found. I saw no shadow, but felt the glow. The warmth inside me, it kept me afloat. It felt like heaven had found my bones and gave me comfort when I feel alone. Now you're gone, I'm alone. If I fall, break my bones, I will scream even louder, 'cause I'm not dying alone. I lost my best friend to 23. She left her body and hovered above me. Best friend to 23. I heard the heavens crying above me. They gained an angel, I lost a friend. I felt like dying again and again. I went through hell, stared at death, but I keep fighting with each living breath. I saw no way out from where I stood. Felt like the fire had burned me through. Now you're gone, I'm alone. I guess it's time to get better. Through the pain, I will go alone. If I fall, break my bones, I will scream even louder, 'cause I'm not dying alone. I lost my best friend.
all over the globe.
Recording in progress.
Hello and namaste and welcome and good afternoon, all colleagues from all over the globe. And now we are starting the international conference on crime, on cyber security crimes. We will start now the first international conference on cyber crime. This conference is organized by IDYM. IDYM is a series of companies located in India. We have 18 speakers from 18 countries. And now we have our guest from Malaysia. I'll be the moderator, and I have my colleague, Dr. Patricia. She is from Zimbabwe, and I am from Egypt. This is Iman Lab. I'll start with Dr. Nirmala from Malaysia. Dr. Nirmala, let's welcome you.
Hi, I'm here.
Yes, can you start, please?
You want me to start now?
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you so much. Hi, I'm Nirmala Devi Kandasamy, an educator from an elementary school called as SK St. Patrick, Malaysia. I'm so thankful that being given opportunity to be a speaker today. Being the first speaker, I suppose, I'm going to talk about cyber crimes, but the details of the cyber crimes, I think more other speakers are able to give the insights of it. So I'm going to talk in terms of my students. So cybersecurity in terms of protecting my students generally, where as an educator, I collaborated with few NGOs locally and globally, and where I get them to present the do's and don'ts when the students are online. As we know, during this pandemic, many students are given handphones, gadget by the parents to log into online classes so that the students are able to learn online and follow this online lessons. And at the same time, the students are also exposed to social media pages, for example, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or any other apps. So due to that, the students are exposed to outside world, outside than their classrooms, outside than their house. So due to that, they need to pay attention to their safety. So due to that, I've actually organized few causes for my students, as I mentioned earlier, from NGOs locally and globally for them to stay safe. Okay. So for me, cyber safety education is able to provide students with knowledge and skills they need to stay safe in online environments. And at the same time, it involves acknowledging the benefits and opportunities offered by the online world while understanding the risks and avoiding potential harms. Then, for me, what is most important for my students and also, of course, other students to know is that they need to stay secure in social media pages. They need to know how to use apps, tools, and websites that encrypt data and have a recovery plan. Use strong and unique passwords. Be vigilant regarding phishing scams. Know the terms and conditions of when they're on. They join in certain platforms, and they should not share any personal information because sharing personal information can really create problems for them because the scammers or the the intruders, they might be pretending themselves to be a young girl or a young boy, and they can steal data. So I always advise my students, please do not post their location and just inform in any social media pages, hey, look here, I'm going for a vacation, I will be around, I will not be around for 5 days in my house, blah blah blah. What I noticed is that many of them, they are posting each and every information of themselves, the personal information. Like, for example, they are going for an outing with friends or parents or anything happening every minute. They are actually posting on social media pages, so that do this kind of acts, actually we are giving ways for others to watch our activities. We never know who are the people outside there watching us, so it can be a lot of problems for us. And also, if I say we are talking about students, and of course it can be very it can be dangerous for them as well. So being students, being a teacher, I always emphasize for my students to be alert, to be safe, and do not expose their personal information, passwords, or what is happening around them in their lives or in the school or anything, now and then, every time. Let's say, for example, I take an example. Let's say we are in a restaurant. Very fast, very quickly, we are taking photos, we are not even starting a conversation among ourselves or with our family members, but very fast we are grabbing the phone each other, it's like a race, we take photos and straight away upload on social media pages. Though maybe not many of us are doing this, but this is a trend now. This is a trend now that I've been noticing. So people, some predators out there, they are watching our activities. Okay, so these are the some of the do's and don'ts that I think we have to cater, and we have to tell our students as well, especially the young ones. I'm teaching in students in elementary school, so many of them, they're having handphones, they're very active in social media pages, TikTok and all that. So they need to be educated in order to stay safe from predators. And I think I've covered the aspect of my students. And in even in restaurants in my country, I noticed that mother will be having a handphone, the father will be having handphone, the children, they'll be. So I noticed that there are lack of communication. People are busy messaging, WhatsApp, they are busy messaging and talking to others than talking face to face. So that's why we make a point in my family, wherever we go out, we will take the handphone, we will make it silent, and we will enjoy the family time together, and there are tendency of people posting blah 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 and all that, whatever happening. So I hope we will take some safety measures in order to stay safe, so that we will not be in trouble. So thank you, Dr. Eman. Thank you, IDYM Davisankar ji, for giving me this opportunity. So I've spoken on behalf of my what is happening from my setting and the education that I'm giving in terms of protecting my students from cybercrime. That's all from me. Thank you so much. Over to you, Dr. Eman. I've done.
Sister, hello. Thanks for your talk. You did amazing talk. You stuck to the time. Thank you very much. We need to transfer to the next speaker, Dr. Vanessa from Singapore. Are you ready, please? Yes. Over to you. Hello, my dear sister.
Okay, can you hear me? Am I audible?
Oh, sorry. Dr. Vanessa, please go ahead.
Okay, great. Hi, a very good evening to all of you. And thank you for inviting me to talk about cybercrime. This topic is something that I had been dealing with for a couple of years already, because I was in the industry of fighting cybercrime 2 years back. Very unfortunately, cybercrime is still on the rise. Now, what is cybercrime? Well, it is any crime that is done using technology. As you know, in the 21st century, technology is something that we cannot live without. Nowadays, we use our handphones, we use our laptops just to stay connected to the world, to stay connected with our friends. But at the same time, people have been abusing this technology to do various crimes that can be very harmful to society. Cybercrimes can be big, it can be small. And there are various kinds of cybercrimes that we must take note. One of them is called phishing. Now, the cases of phishing has been rising. It has not dropped at all. In 2021, there were 22,219 cases, up by 81% since 2020. Phishing actually refers to the practice of inducing people to reveal their personal information, such as account password and credit card numbers. We must be aware of what kind of information we give out to the world outside there. If excuse me, if the information that we are giving out to the world is confidential, then we must protect our technology. We must create passwords. Information need to be encrypted. We must be vigilant of the web pages that have been designed to look exactly like other firms, especially web pages that regards to banking. Because in a banking system, all of us will key in our information about how we do our banking, our passwords, our information about ourselves, the amount that we earn, and we do a lot of transactions on the internet using banking softwares or through banking websites. And a lot of these banking websites are now being duplicated. They've been phished to look alike. So we must be aware of this kind of sites. And one way to spot is the URL addresses of these sites. You must know the correct URL address, and everybody needs to be educated. We all need to go for some cyber security courses in our lives. We need to, because we are so dependent on our computers these days. Unless we just unplug ourselves, we just take out our cable, we destroy our cables, which is totally impossible. So we need a basic knowledge. Companies need to educate their employees to know whether their system is being hacked or not. They need to know that they cannot leave their passwords written on a piece of paper, and that paper cannot be left on their desk, because anybody can walk past and find their passwords, and they can easily gain access to the computer system. Computer securities need to update their software constantly. They need to do patches every week. Now, to do patching is actually not that difficult. Patching softwares can be automated at regular times for it to be patched. But the question is it being done? Companies that are hacked is because these patches are not being done at all. And this has to be rectified. Excuse me, sorry, I'm having a very bad cough. Okay, so next, the next kind of
Dr.
cybercrime.
Danish Kumar, please close your
Sorry.
mic. Dr. Danish Kumar, please close your mic. Thank you. Thanks. Sorry, my dear colleague for disturbance. Please go ahead.
Okay, so another kind of cybercrime is called ransomware cases, where your software is hijacked, and the only way that you can gain back control of your software is to pay a sum to the hackers. And these cases are also on the rise. There have been a 54% jump in this kind of cases. In a ransom attack, hackers use malicious software to encrypt files in a device that demand a ransom from them in order to allow the software to work again. This all actually can be easily avoided if patches are done. And every officer working in a company must go through some cyber security lessons, let's say every year once, so that they'll be updated of what kind of attacks that are being done in society, because new attacks will appear again, because hackers are very creative. You may solve one of their methods in attacking a system, yet they can create another way to attack the system again, because softwares are made by men. So softwares, the faults in softwares are also created by men. So we must always be vigilant in what kind of attacks that are being conducted in the world. Children nowadays also carry handphones everywhere they go. Parents must watch over them as they use their handphones. They must know who they are communicating with. They must know what kind of software that their friends are giving them to use, because sometimes their software can contain viruses. And these viruses, once installed into a phone or into a computer device, it can steal information from it. So you need to be aware. One of the speakers that I heard talk about taking pictures. Yes, taking our own pictures are okay, but posting on Facebook, we need to be aware, because our pictures also can be stolen. And also, we also must be careful of the pictures that we take or are being given by people in the cyber world, in the computer world, because these pictures also can obtain viruses that may be used against you. So we need to be aware of all this. Online scams also is on the rise. There are people who are impersonating as bankers to con the older generation to come up with a nice scheme to tell them how to save the money and eventually how to transfer their company to an account where they can increase their money. But unfortunately, the account is a fake account. It does not exist. It just belongs to their account, which they will take the money and disappear. These scams have been increasing for some time. Already at 37% jump recently. An old man was conned in giving 150,000 to an account because the person who told him to transfer somehow created a love scheme with him to become his girlfriend. I really do not know the full story of the case, but he was conned of $150,000. And nowadays, people are into cryptocurrencies. If you are not, sorry. But a lot of people are into doing cryptocurrency dealing these days. And because of this, your system needs to be secured. Because it is borderless. And anybody can get into your systems to steal your own money. And you must know who you are dealing with, especially if you're doing cryptocurrency. The person that you are dealing with, you need to trust. You need to ask whether that person can be trusted with your money. And you must know all the systems on how your money is transacted step by step, that everything is done by the book and that everything is secure and encrypted. So in a nutshell, cyber security is our own responsibility. We can bring down the level of cyber crime, but we cannot totally eradicate it. And it will somehow still be climbing because every year new softwares are created, new hardwares are created. And as long as these things are being created, new problems will arise every day. You just keep on rising. So for those who want to be cybersecurity specialists, actually right now is a very good time to find this kind of job because we are very well needed in this in this in this industry to prevent for all these crimes that are happening. So to prevent cybercrime is your responsibility. You own your own computer, you own your own handphone, so you must know how to protect it. You must get the relevant education to educate yourselves on how to prevent cybercrime, to know about phishing, to know how to prevent your passwords from being stolen, to know that every important information that passes through the cyber world needs to be encrypted with strong passwords because passwords can easily be broken. And cybersecurity personalities in the world who are working for their companies do patching every week. Patches need to be done because if not, your system will be very vulnerable. And get the latest protection systems, especially firewalls, to protect your
Yes,
system.
Dr. Vanessa, thanks a lot. You added a lot to our knowledge. Thanks for doing amazing lecture. I'm so sorry, time flies. I know you have a lot of knowledge, but time.
Let me say one thing. So
for 1 minute, okay?
Okay.
So please.
Thank you so much. So protect yourselves. Get education. Just don't allow cybercrime from happening. All right. Take care and stay safe. Bye.
Thank you very much, Dr. Vanessa. Thanks a lot. You added a lot to our knowledge. And now let's move to the next speaker, Dr. Rania from Dr. Rania. She is Grace. Are you ready, Dr. Rania? Please, other colleagues, please, if you are not the speaker, please try to check your mic because some of you are entering without muting themselves. So we don't like to interrupt our program. So please check your mic. Thank you. And now we have Dr. Rania Lampo. Are you ready, my dear sister?
Yes, I'm ready.
Yes,
One
please
greetings
go
from
ahead.
Greece. I'm very happy and honored to be invited in this great event, and I warmly congratulate IBM for the organization, and of course, Dr. Ravisankar for his invitation.
Most welcome.
So, cybercrime is not actually a new form of crime. It has been around for some 50 years. As societies rely more and more on information and technology, they become increasingly vulnerable to the risk of cybercrime. And today's increasingly digitized world, the amount of data accessed, utilized, and shared across complex networks continues to grow. So, with the risk of cybercrime rising, for instance, companies need to sharpen their focus and ensure they protect the trust of their customers, both consumers and businesses alike. And according to reports, 84% of consumers expect companies to be held responsible for ensuring the security of user data and personal information online. And we have seen how during COVID crisis, when we all rely more than ever on computer systems to mitigate the impact of social distancing, how cybercrime has dramatically increased. So criminal justice authorities need, of course, to engage in full cooperation to detect, investigate, and tribute and prosecute offenses. And of course, we all know how cybercrime has evolved into significant threats to human rights, to democracy, and the rule of law, as well as international peace and stability. And of course, it has major social economic impact. So when we talk about cybercrime, it has actually includes crimes in which computer device is a target, for instance, to gain network access, or crimes in which the computer is used as a weapon, the case of denial of service attack, or crimes in which the computer is used as an accessory to crime, for instance, using a computer to store illegally obtained data. And then we have another classification, the cyber-enabled crime. It's a traditional crime that is enhanced in scale and reach via the use of technology. And this can include online fraud or grooming or malicious communication, cyberbullying, for instance. And cyber-dependent crime, which involves a criminal element using a digitally enabled device, such as a computer or smartphone. And while most cybercrimes are carried out in order to generate profit, some cybercrimes are carried out against the device directly to damage or disable them. And of course, the primary effect is financially. Usually, cybercrime can include many types of profit-driven criminal activities, such as ransomware attacks, email, internet fraud, etc. So what does cybercrime really look like? Although these perpetrators of cybercrime are often portrayed as hooked, masked youths, hands over a laptop, the reality of cybercrime is quite different. Because this cybercriminal activity may be carried out by individuals or groups with relatively little technical skill, or by highly organized global criminal groups that may include the skill developers and others with relevant expertise. Or to further reduce the chances of detection and prosecution, cybercriminals often use to operate in countries with weak or non-existent cybercrime laws. So we know that cybercrime provides significant incentives for criminals. If, for example, a hacker has access to 500,000 emails, even if they are only 1% successful at targeting victims and gaining $200, they have already made over $1 million. What are the top cyber crimes? Usually in 2022, it was phishing scams after these website spoofing, ransomware, malware, and IoT hacking. And we have the cases of cyber extortion, crypto jacking, identity theft, credit card fraud, cyber espionage, software policy, and many others. What happens now in schools? The three biggest current cyber threats for schools to be aware of are phishing, denial of service. Denial of service attack is an attack which is meant to shut down a machine and make it inaccessible to its users. And the third one is ransomware. And why? There are many reasons why schools are vulnerable to cybercrime. And this can include holding valuable and interesting data on school systems, such as parental financial information, employment details, and home address, or having limited budgets to protect the critical infrastructure, increasing the perception of schools as easier targets than other organizations. Lack of training and awareness among the senior leadership team and staff. And also, another thing is that according to a research report, 28% of teachers admitted they shared the password. So the threats are not always external. Here we need to talk about what is called social engineering here and how it is used to target victims of cybercrime. Social engineer plays a significant role in cybercrime because hackers use a variety of social engineer tactics and personas in order to achieve their goals. And these tactics include impersonation, agency, obligation, authority, flattery, and fear. So we need, of course, programs. Some cybersecurity awareness training is important because it teaches students how they can protect themselves from cyber attacks. Students will learn about phishing scams, malware, ransomware, and other threats. It's absolutely necessary for schools to keep students safe. Here in Greece, where I'm working at the Greek Ministry of Education, and I have organized the last years a workshop for students about cyber security. Actually, we invite the students from Athens twice a week, and we inform them about threats of the internet and how they can protect them against this. So it's I think, very important to organize such events in all schools. The cybercrime statistics seems to see here that 6 trillion, this is the damage the cybercrime caused in 2022. The vast majority of attacks target the financial sector, and 33 billion accounts will be breached in 2023. 59% of Americans report they have experienced cybercrime. In other some way they have fallen into the hands of attackers. And 95% of malware is delivered by email. What happens here in Greece, in Europe actually, the Council of Europe began to work on criminal justice responses already since the 1980s. And we have actually a binding international treaty on cybercrime. In November 21, the Convention on Cybercrime was opened for signature in Budapest. And 20 years later now, this treaty, which is known as the Budapest Convention, remains still the most relevant international agreement on cybercrime electronic evidence because it provides for the criminalization of offenses against, by means of computers, all the law tools to secure electronic evidence and for international cooperation among parties. And in particular, here in Greece, Greece ranks very high in reported metrics related to cybercrime infrastructure support. We have created the Greek Center for Cybercrime, and the objectives of this center is to advance cybercrime training relevant to university education in Greece, to improve research in focused areas of cybercrime, to mobilize the Greek constituency in the area of cybercrime, and collaborate with the similar centers. So before concluding, this is some recommendations that the previous speaker have already said. How it's important to keep our information safe, to back up all our important files, store them independently, to check always our software systems, to secure email gateways, and strengthen our home network, to be vigilant always, and regularly check and update the privacy settings on our social media accounts, update our password, and ensure they're strong, etc. So thank you very much for your attention. And if you have any question, I am at your disposal.
Most welcome, Dr. Rania. This is you. As I know, you added a lot to our knowledge. Thanks for sticking to the time and doing a smart lecture. Great thanks to Dr. Rania. She is from Greece. Now we need to thank General Dr. Muhammad Ali because of his presence. He is our guest speaker. Let's say hello. Most welcome, sir. The floor is yours. Major Dr. Muhammad Ali, are you ready? The floor is yours. Please go ahead.
Yes. Hi.
Most welcome,
Good
sir.
evening.
Hi. Hello.
Hello, what an honor to be here, to be speaking with such an august gathering. And of course, Rania has covered everything so beautifully as it is. So I will not repeat those points that Rania has said. I'll give you a few points that I know of. And I'm so sorry about the ambience. I'm sitting in a restaurant with some friends. I had to be here. I was visiting Mumbai after a few years. So, anyhow, now, I will give you a few piece of advice for everyone which would help them in real life practical purpose. Suppose first, supposing you get a video call. hmm? Supposing you get a video call from a number which you don't recognize, don't answer it. Why? Because then they are tricksters who are out to get you. They will, the moment you answer the video call and the moment you say hello only, that's about it. They will take a screenshot and they will morph the image with somebody else on the other hand who's playing some mischief, and then they will start blackmailing you. It's happened, and the case has been registered in the cybercrime department as well. It can be on WhatsApp, it can be on Facebook, it can be anywhere. So don't answer those video calls, right? Second, well, often these tricksters are out to trick you by sending some tricking messages that your electricity bill is pending. Your phone will be disconnected from tomorrow if you do not make such a payment. To dial this, to check that, dial this number and get back immediately. Don't do that. Don't fall prey to that nonsense. I know some very educated, literate, learned people who have fallen prey to this. Don't fall prey to that. Okay. Thirdly, I'm sorry to bring this up, but it is. Why should I be sorry actually? But it can be. Thank you very much, Sonal Judge. Very true. Educated ones get trapped. Absolutely. Sonal, I must tell you, there has been a lot of cases of honey trapping. Honey trapping does not mean only where a lady will trap a gent. A gent can trap a lady also in honey trap. So be very careful of that. Okay, one more thing. Whenever you give your credit card or debit card in a restaurant, like the way you can see right now at the restaurant, I'm so sorry about this. So whenever you give a debit card or credit card, be very careful. Be very, very careful. It can so happen you've given a debit or a credit card somewhere and they have a machines, tricksters. We have tricksters. We have tricksters. That's a song we made, okay? So we have tricksters all over. Yeah. So I can see Mars coming. Mars, like, what the hell is this? Okay. So they are tricksters who are out to get you. They'll paste your credit card number, debit card number, and they will withdraw money from your account. And your account will be totally blank. Now, let's see in the chat box coming in. How many of you have heard of this term called digital rape? I had not heard of it until a week back, until I read it in the news that there was a digital rape, and I'm not making it up. You can Google it. The news is there. It was very big news of a 65-year-old gentleman digitally raping a 3.5-year-old child. Yes, Patricia, it's a new term to me. It was a new term to me as well. When I heard digital rape, I said, how can anyone rape anyone digitally? So it sounds like, and let me tell you, digital rape is nothing to do with screens, nothing to do with web, nothing to do with online. It's slightly off the cuff I'm going, though the topic is on cybersecurity and online crime and such things. Now, digital digits, which means fingers, digits, right? So digital rape is when you insert something which is not natural. That's digital rape. So when I read about digital rape, I thought it's something to do with online or cybersecurity. No, it is digits, numbers, which we do with our fingers, right? So digital rape is totally something else. Now, one more thing, another practical thing, and I would quickly conclude. I will not go on a long-winded lecture, but one more thing I would say is, guys, please keep changing. Yes, yes, we can hear you. So please keep
Yes, sir.
changing your. Yes.
You
So
are asking
please.
about your voice. It's very clear.
No, thank you very much.
Most welcome.
Actually, there was some cross connection. I thought, oh, unless someone was trying to hack into this. I'm just kidding. Okay. So keep changing your password repeatedly and make it very, don't follow a pattern. Like you will change your password every 4 days. No. You change your password without any pattern. After 2 hours, 4 days, 6 days, 10 days, fortnight, 12 hours, 6 hours, 4 hours, anytime. Anytime you feel insecure, but most importantly, when you change your password, the biggest challenge we have is we forget the password. We have changed the password, now we have forgotten the password. So make a log in your diary somewhere and don't write it is your password for your Facebook or your password to your Gmail account. No. Put a code word to it. Like in the army, when we patrol, we do not follow a pattern, right? So that in every army, not just Indian Army or US Army, in every army, we follow a pattern so that we are not ambushed by the enemy. Similarly, don't be predictable. Don't let the culprits, the tricksters, catch you off guard. So change your password frequently, and it can be a second, 1 second. 1 small second can help you save your lifetime savings. 1 second can help you save your private emails, right? So that's what I would like to say. And our safety is in our own hands. Take care. God bless you all. And I'm sure we all are mature and mature adults. And I'm sure we would be safe with our personal cyberspace. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.
Thank you very much. And Jai Hind, thank you. Appreciation.
Dr. Iman, my aunt is an Egyptian, okay? My father's elder brother's wife, my aunt is an Egyptian.
And I have a lot of Egyptians, Indian sisters and brothers.
Absolutely.
I visited India 3 times, so it's my second country.
And it made my day when I heard my Egyptian sister say Jai Hind. It really made my day. Thank you very much for that. Thank you very much.
Most welcome. Most welcome. Appreciation. Jai Hind again. Thank you. We are very happy to hear from your side. Major General Dr. Muhammad Ali Shah. We are proud to have you in the IDYM platform. You are our kind and highly appreciated brothers. So Jai Hind, thank you very much for being with us. You are the guest speaker of this conference. You are our guest of honor. Thank you very much. You delivered a very smart lecture. Sorry, your mic is closed. If you wanted to add anything, please open your mic. Your mic is closed, sir. Okay. So now we are going again to India. We have another.
Sorry, Dr. Iman, was that for me? Were you saying something to me?
Yes, your voice is clear now. I thought you are talking, but your mic is closed. So if you wanted to add anything, you would be most welcome.
No, I just want to say that it's an honor and thank you very much for this kind introduction and for having invited me to speak to you all. Such amazing, sparkling, bright eyes, all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks again, Major Dr. Muhammad Ali Shah, for doing awesome, very smart lecture in a very short time. Thanks for your appreciation and your presence. Now, Jai Hind, again, now we are going to Dr. H.C. B.K. Rajput. He is not a guest, he is our colleague and he is our known brother. All of us are well known by Dr. Rajput. The floor is yours, my dear brother. Please go ahead.
Thank you so much. And Assalamu alaikum, sister.
Alaikum
And Jai
salam
Hind,
wa
Mika
rahmatullah.
Saab.
Most welcome.
Good
Most
evening, good
welcome.
morning
The floor is
to
yours.
everybody. Yeah, thank
I
you so
can
much.
give
Good
you
morning.
moderation also. I can't be moderator in your presence, my dear brother.
Oh, wow,
Please go
very
ahead, my
happy.
dear
So
brother.
I'm
We
very
have
happy
highly
to answer.
appreciated the speakers
Yes, yes,
today.
yes,
I'm
sister.
very happy to have all of you. Please go ahead.
Yes, are you able to hear me?
Yes, very clear.
Are you able to hear me? Okay.
Yes,
So thank you so much for giving me once again opportunity. Listening
most welcome.
Rania, listening other people, listening Major. It is always a pride and happiness to listen Major Muhammad Ali Shah. It ignites energy and it ignites a lot of the things. So coming to the beautiful topic which is there, I was listening the fourth thing which you said, which is very very important, Major sir. And on that, I just want to add it. There are some of the things which is coming up so well because in the mail you will be getting some allurement that your packet is coming, so you please send something, some money like that. It is start the crime part. It has to be taken care immediately. Don't respond on that. Second thing is keep on putting the antivirus on your laptop, which is again very important because that is again a part of the thing, so that your mail will be taken out. This is the second part. Third part, I like to say that some people will keep on sending a WhatsApp messages, right? That yes, we like to invest on that and we'll make your money 2 times, 3 times, 4 times. Don't even initiate the things. Third thing is, which is coming at unknown male or female. What the major said about the honey trapping, which is again very important. So we should not be going on this way. The last but not the least, I like to highlight it, which I always feel. Put some of the very funny type of password which nobody can understand, right? So very very funny, which will be more rememberable. Like suppose you like some food, right, and or some flowers or something like that, which is very funny, which you'll really able to understand and which are going to initiate it. Because let me tell you, cyber crime is going to happen. You cannot stop it. Precaution is the best way of prevention. Precaution is the best way of prevention. Otherwise, the people will be able to dupe you, and then you will be having the mind which will be again there's a lot of psychosomatic disorders that happen due to the cyber crime. People have gone to the shell, right? So these things are very important, and world is working on that. People are coming with the new tricks, and we have to be more vigilant over the particular trick which is there. So that is all from my side. Thank you so much for giving the time, and already been covered so well by Rania and Major Muhammad Ali Shah. So I just added 2 more points on that part. Thank you so much. Shukriya.
Thank you, my dear respected brother. As we know, you are highly appreciated person, so all of us are appreciating you, and we are in love to hear from your side. Really, your speech is not boring. If you can speak for more than 1 hour, really, we are listening with all love. Thanks a lot. Today, we have two highly appreciated men from India. We have Major Dr. Muhammad Ali, and we have also Dr. Rajput. I'm very happy to have both of you today. Also, we have, as I said before, we have 18 guests from all countries. Each country is represented by one speaker. So I'm very happy to have both of you. And let's move to the next speaker, and please be with us. Yes, we have Miss Erna Pipa from Albania. Are you ready, my dear sister? Let's
Hello,
welcome you.
everyone. Yes, I am
Hello.
here and
Most
I'm ready.
welcome. Most welcome.
Thank you.
The
It's
floor is
very
yours. Please go ahead.
interesting. Okay, thank you. Very interesting topic today. And I'm very glad being here and sharing my thoughts with you. We talk about cybercrime and we talk about the safer internet. Anyone can be at risk. Age, social standing, and education do not matter as much as we previously thought. We have seen all kinds of people become radicalized, from young men and women with learning difficulties to adults in well-respected professions. What is clear is that the more vulnerable the person, the easier it is to influence their way of thinking. How is the web being used to groom and radicalize people? How has the rise of social media contributed to the risk? The online world has also made it easier to identify those who could be influenced and radicalized. Social media platforms are full of groups of people looking for help and support, and those looking to exploit this can easily join these groups and befriend a vulnerable person. Offers of support, friendship, and belonging are all used to gain influence and control. So it's important to be alert. Despite the best efforts of social media providers and platforms, the sheer volume of web traffic means that questionable content can be uploaded and distributed for a long time before being detected and removed. There is no real offline world anymore. We don't go online, we are online. Technology is now an extension of almost everything we do, and that has given people who want to radicalize and groom others an avenue for communication and a level of influence that was not present before. It has also provided perpetrators with unique advantages. They can contact a target anytime of the day or night and stream propaganda directly to them. Ideas can now be spread at the touch of the button and with very little technical knowledge. A smartphone and a social media platform are all that are required to start to propagate dangerous ideas and information with zero cost. People who groom and radicalize also use the anonymity of the web as a layer of protection to avoid detection. The added ability to encrypt communication can make law enforcement extremely difficult. It is important to remember that social media goes beyond the big players such as Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Any platform that allows two-way communication can be used to groom and radicalize. For example, gaming sites can be targeted. Many online games, such as first-person shooters, have a voice chat facility allowing users to talk to each other directly, both adults and children, often via headsets. That can be extremely difficult to combat, as it would require a moderator or a parent to listen to every game being played. Music platforms also and internet radio can also expose us to risk. Almost anyone can set up an internet radio station with very little technical skill and use it to promote an ideology or agenda. How would I know that someone is being groomed or radicalized? What are the warning signs? There is no definitive list of clues or signs. A change in the person's behaviors is likely. Some things to look out for include, but are not limited to, isolating themselves from family and friends, becoming secretive and not wanting to talk or discuss their views, closing computers down when others are around, refusing to say who they are talking to, using technologies such as anonymous browsing to hide their activity, and sudden changes in mood, such as becoming angry or disrespectful. What should I do if someone I know is taking or is talking to an unsafe person? I'm a teacher. We work every day with the students, and it's very important to know some things. It is important to reassure the person you are concerned for that they can trust you and that you are there to listen and support them. When we speak to children, we talk about finding a trusted adult. Trusted doesn't necessarily mean a police officer or a teacher, but preferably someone whom that person can talk to in a free and uninhibited way, someone who can support them and guide them. Parents want nothing but the best for their children, but sometimes they can't be that trusted adult. Children don't want to let their parent down or may worry that they might be punished in some way, perhaps by having their internet access cut off, and so will sometimes not confide in their parents. Many of us, and particularly young people, use the internet every day. The risk of losing that connectivity can be a real barrier to them coming forward and telling someone what is happening to them. When a child discloses to you that they are in potential danger or that something has already happened to them, the natural reaction is to want to solve the situation immediately. This can sometimes lead to parents and guardians taking phones, computers, and access privileges away. In doing this, we are in effect punishing the child or having the confidence to come and talk to us about what is going on. It's easier said than done, but the key is to remain calm, listen to the child, and understand what has happened or is happening to them. Once all the facts are known, you can together work out how you are going to deal with the situation. Trust is also crucial when it comes to helping adults, although it can be more difficult to cultivate. Signposting people to counseling and support groups where they can talk openly and honestly without judgment can be an important first step. Okay, that is all from me today. Thank you for listening to me. As I said at the beginning, is a very interesting topic. We as a teachers make beautiful projects in our schools to raise awarenesses about safe internet. Thank you again, Idymicc, Ravi Sor. Thank you all the speakers and the participants. Greetings from my little country, Albania.
Thank you, my lovely sister. Really, you did amazing, awesome lecture. Your lecture also is very smart and also very short. You stuck to the time. Thank you. Also, IDYM and all of us are happy by having you. Thanks a lot. Now we need to transfer to the second moderator. I am not alone. We are working as a group, as a teamwork. I have my dear sister, Dr. Patricia. She is from Zimbabwe. Dr. Patricia. Welcome, sister.
Thank you. Well, thank you so much.
Yes,
thank you.
Please go ahead. I'm with you. You need to continue, and I'll be behind you. So please go ahead.
Thank you so much,
Most
my
sister. Most welcome.
Dr. Iman, thank you for opening the floor. I would like to welcome all the speakers today on this podium, where we are looking at cybercrime. And we have heard from many eminent speakers and our guest speaker, Major Dr. Mohammed Al-Shah. Now I'm going to move on. We have so many nuggets that we have taken from all the speakers, and some of them being our safety is in our hands, according to Dr. Mohammed and Dr. Rajput, telling us also to be vigilant because the tricksters are coming with new tricks. And my sister Irene Bieber said we have to be very alert, especially we educators, because cybercrime, cyberbullying is happening in our schools. So without further ado, let me call upon Dr. Alika Durigarian from Armenia to the podium. She has just recently joined. Welcome, Dr. Alisa Durigarian from Armenia. It is now your time to share with us on cybercrime. Are you ready, Dr. Alika?
Yes, I'm here, but just give me 5 minutes. Yes, the next one I will be.
Okay, thank you.
Home.
Thank you. I'll move on to the next speaker, then I'll come back to you. Our next speaker that I'm going to call is an esteemed speaker from Italy. We have met in so many podiums. Miss Melissa Esposito, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. I'm ready.
Over to you, ma'am. Over to you. Welcome to our conference today on cybercrime. Welcome.
Can I share my screen?
Yes, you can share now.
Okay. Okay. Cybercrime, a crime in continuous evolution. The development of telematic information technologies, increasingly sophisticated and efficient, has favored the emergence of new forms of illicit activities widespread in our society throughout the use of commonly used tools such as computers, PC, tablets, and mobile phones. Illegal behaviors, the main aspect and criticalities which will be examined here are generally defined as computer crimes. Cybercrime occurs when the conduct of a material or material object of the crime is related to a computer or telematic system, and when the offense is perpetrated by exploiting or eating the system. In the first case, reference is made to the category of improper computer crimes, so-called the computer as a tool, expressly governed by the criminal code and the special legislation. In the second case, on the other hand, we speak of own computer crimes, so-called the computer as a target, whose purpose consists solely in offending the computer system. Among the most common cases are damage to data, programs and systems, computer fraud, unauthorized access, the possession and dissemination of access codes, the falsification of electronic documents, unlawful interference in communications, the issue of computer devices or program aimed at interrupting or damaging an IT or telematic system. Having said this, it seems useful to highlight that in order for the conduct of the subject to be qualified as a cybercrime, it is necessary to verify the existence of precise characteristics. We therefore speak of real constituent elements detailed for the easy classification of criminal behavior. The requisites required by our legal system consist, first of all, in signature of the author of the crime, left consciously or unconsciously, which can be found at the scene of the crime or be attributable to suspect. It does not vary due to the repetition of the harmful conduct. As regards then the operating methods, these may be influenced by temporal variations connected to technology updates or due to the improvement of one's experience in the sector, while at the same time retaining a substantial role in the correlation of cases and individuals. In terms of conduct and operating methods, the phenomenon of staging assumes a particular importance, which occurs when the criminal or the persons linked to the crime committed completely or partially alter the crime scene or the elements connected to it. Furthermore, the risk factors of cybercrime can consider with the result obtained in the following the psychological evaluation carried out during the victimization phase or coincide with the different level of severity of the risk factors to which the offender is exposed in acting illicitly and to be evaluated case by case. Last but not least, it is the confirmation of the existence of a motivation, foundation, and clear expression of the psychological, economic, political, or social element that push the individual to commit a crime. Precisely, cybercrimes arise from complex psychological dynamics that undoubtedly assume a central role in identifying the personality of a cyber offender, which turns out to be very different from that of the subject who commit crimes that we could simply define traditional. The cyber criminal, in fact, appears as a tangentially non-violent and solitary person, in the way that with a great ability to plan the behavior that intend to implement in order to exploit his computer knowledge, but with poor ability to contain the anxiety caused by the inability to have any contact with both the crime shame and victim. In other words, the development of the IT sector generates in some subjects alterations in the perception of crime, thus inducing them to carry out criminal behaviors that they would hardly carry out without cyberspace, such as pedophiles who would never have the courage to lure a child. On the road, terrorists psychological unsuitable for military action, scammers who would never face the face-to-face, employees who do not dare to carry out sabotage actions to the detriment of the company they are employed of, and so on. Therefore, the classification based on the presence of a motivation corroborated by the psychological component allows us to find the existence of computer offenders defined as follows. There are 5. Casual hackers. They organize their attack mostly driven by curiosity and emotional reasons, to the point of already feeling gratified by the simple use of the subscriptions or others unpaid sites. Second, political hackers. They militate for a specific cause by basing their actions on their knowledge and experience. They work emotionally, rationally to make public the ideal they have adhered to. Third, organized crime made up of professional attackers and industry experts who act with care, mainly for economic reasons. Fourth, squatters. They act impersonally with goals that have no connection with the recipient and identity of the owner of the affection system. The intent is to obtain access to databases containing confidential information, passwords, video, musical images for playful reasons and for private purposes, not necessarily criminals. Fifth, insiders and intruders. Attacks attributable to this type can be carried out both from inside or by operators or users inside an organization or computer system. Insider, and from outside or by external attackers who illegally enter in the internal organization. Another important aspect, in addition to the psychological component, is that which concerns the abilities and knowledge of the cyber criminal. When it comes to intrusion into computer networks, there is a belief that above average knowledge and technical skills are required to engage in the illegal conduct. According to the first classification, based on the level of skill, dating back to 1987, the perpetrators of the offenses must be divided into 3 kinds. The first, crackers, with high skills, in-depth knowledge, and proven experience, whose information search activity is managed in an obsessive-compulsive way. Second, hackers, holders of medium-level knowledge and able to recognize the same importance that the legitimate owners attribute to the information obtained. Third, radens, poor skills and low profile. Consequently, it is evident that with such assumptions, it is very difficult to circumscribe the wide gamut of offenses committed by the computer criminal. Even today, we generally define cybercriminal as someone who carries out a conduct that is expressed throughout the violation of telematic networks and computer systems, is often accompanied by purely recreational purposes that can change over time, transforming into behaviors put in place for profit by exploiting the data obtained or by inserting malicious programs into the system. Specifically, hacking can manifest itself into forms or rather be benevolent. It is commissioned who do not wish to damage someone or something when they violate the system. Finally, the approach to computer crime can be criminological nature and illicit behavior.
Let's mute our mics. Let's mute our.
Civil law, when the problem is analyzed exclusively in the perspective of the damage caused to individuals and to the means or reparation of penalties, when it is necessary to analyze the components of the individual conducts. Brief notes on network security. The incessant development of the network and the changing nature of information systems conceals the delicate problem of security, namely the ability of networks to resist branches or events that can compromise the components of the operating system we have. The fundamental properties of network security are first, the availability, authentication, integrity, and confidentiality of data services provided of usable truth, the accessibility of data and services. Second, authentication or confirmation of the identity declared by an organization or a user. Even if in some cases it is necessary to preserve the possibility for the latter to remain anonymous if knowledge of the personal profile is not necessary. Third, integrity. For example, the maintenance of the data transmitted exactly as they are, without cuts or modifications. Fourth, confidentiality, oriented towards data protection and essential in the event of the transfer of sensitive data concerning information relating to the privacy users. In such a precarious situation, the only way to protect our privacy consists in adopting a few simple precautions, such as the use of passwords that are not easy to find and with alphanumeric codes, avoid the exclusion of your password, the installation and configuration of firewalls and antivirus, keeping them constantly updated, use anti-spyware that can effectively clean up the system. Pay attention to cookies. Do not open email attachments from unknown suspicious users to avoid the phenomenon of the so-called phishing. Configure the browser privacy level at least at the medium level, and so on. Conclusion. The continuous evolution of information technologies combined with the spread of crimes connected to it requires a reflection on this point. With the passage of time, technological discoveries, the result of in-depth studies and cutting-edge research increase day by day, providing each individual with improvements of work that become part of everyday life and social, cultural, economic, and administrative life of countries. The centrality of the role acquired by computerization has indisputably brought benefits to our society. But at the same time, it has made us more vulnerable. The privacy of each of us is constantly put to the test. Companies and public administrations around the world invest huge funds to try in vain to stem one of the biggest and most rampant problems of recent times. Against our will, we are witnessing the proliferation of crimes perpetrated throughout computer devices and on the web by individuals without inhibitions. However, in recent years, attention has been focused on information policy for safety, with the consequence use and waste of energy, including economic ones, of considerable magnitude, to try to fill the gaps produced by the long and cumbersome process of emanation of the legal regulations in force of all legal systems. The progress and the results obtained are significant, much more still needs to be done, both because of the gaps in the legal system and because of the constant interpretive uncertainty that characterizes that part of the jurisprudence that governs cybercrimes. To this is added the awareness of the users of the information systems. Balances that are not easy to create and almost impossible to maintain in a society that moves at high speed. With this, my presentation is ended, and I thank you all for listening to me, and all of you, for the great opportunity you gave me to share my thoughts about this important topic.
Thank you so much, Ms. Melissa Esposito, for a well-detailed presentation where you took us through cybercrime, what it is, and also the computer offenders and different types of perpetrators that we must be on the lookout for. Thank you so much for that presentation. Thank you. Now we move on to Dr. Alice Durgarian from Armenia. I hope now you can share with us on cybercrime. The podium is yours. And for our speakers, may I just remind you, we have about 5 to 10 minutes for each speaker, because we've got 18 speakers from 18 different countries. Over to you.
Okay, is my screen visible for you?
Yes, it's showing up. Yes.
Okay, yes. Today I'm going to speak about the cyberbullying, especially referring to the education system and what kind of influence it can have. First of all, just let's try that it's coming just a bullying that occurs online. Sometimes it can be through instant messaging, texting, emails, and social media. And besides this, it's going also to be like a painful such other types of bullying, because sometimes we just try to teach, to learn our students, but at the same time we have to pay attention to such kind of things too, because besides school, while being at school, we try to say that they are just in safe. But when we just give some kinds of activities which need just to log in internet and to search, find some kinds of information, in this case also it can be not only as useful, but at the same time it can be dangerous, especially for students who don't know just how to use internet appropriately. And according to it, there can be like cyberbullying in some cases, which can be just have really worse results at the end. And also it can be just not limited, it's not only in the playground, but also it can just happen anytime, even they are at school, at the street, or even at home. Let's go to the and a little bit pay attention while they are at
Excuse me, my
school,
sister. Sorry.
because it can be just.
Hello, you can share your video. We can't see you. I can see your presentation.
I'm just not at home, just joining you from
Oh,
outside
okay.
with
All right.
telephone, and at the same time sharing my
Okay.
PPT
All
from
right.
another device. That's why.
All right.
It can be like an attack with the intent to cause psychological harm, because sometimes there are different kinds of cases when students can have really cyberbullying attacks from other devices, from other countries, even from teenagers of the same ages. And while getting in trouble, they try in some cases to solve their just problems, but at the same time without not paying attention that it can be really dangerous for not only for their health, for not only, for example, for their psychology, but also at the same time give them also material just negative effects. And it can be also repeated in some cases aggressive behavior, which can be like aimed at harming a person, and in some cases like a social status in a group, or it can be even in the classroom, or even can be used a physical strain, etc. And in some cases, while paying attention to it, Such kind of examples can be, for example, in different kinds of forms, for example, we can just write different kinds of things, negative words, negative textings, or even online gaming. It can be also just posting derogatory messages on social network sites, posting or sharing obscene photos or videos, and also at the same time creating like a fake profile to humiliate someone. And these are like some kinds of cases, and in some cases what at first like teachers we should just pay attention to in this case. The first thing that we usually pay attention, they can call out names and it's not fun or friendly. They can make you feel frightened, just being forced to do something you didn't want to do. Or if you are offended by special needs, disability, race, religion, orientation, education, or even your social status, it can just go. And also in some cases, for example, when someone can spread rumors about you to people you know, or even sharing photos of you without your consent, or just bullies you because of how you look, your status, maybe from the dressing code, or in some cases, even sometimes they just pay attention what kind of clothes you usually have you wear when you go to school, and also tries to pressure you to do something to stay friends with them, and in some cases, especially when we have some kinds of social not equal rights for students, it can also bring such kind of, and they through using network and social just platforms, they can just try to bully and also at the same time try to attack cyber attacks for them in order to do what they want and using like them like a tool, not a person. And in some cases, what should be done in this case? Like a solution, just tell an adult you trust. First of all, try not to answer it can make things worse. For example, block sender, first of all, because if it's not, for example, the platform or a social network, it can be like a little bit doubtful. You can just block them, not answering them, or keep the evidence or have someone help with this and be sure to say how often this happens because if you are having evidence in some cases if it has for example negative results you can just use this evidence to prove that you are really not guilty one and there is you are innocent in this case it will just be helpful for you. And also if this is someone at school, please just tell your teacher or another adult at school which can be just helpful for you and will help you in this case. And in some cases just how not to become a victim of bullying, especially about the don't always try to join your disputes with peers, learn rules and concede, admit you're wrong. In some cases, also do not you try not to give negative emotions or answers or show your superiority over others. And also find a friend among classmates and really find true friends who you can just trust and respect, who can just respect and love you as you really are, and also invite classmates to visit in some cases because in this case you can just be sure that you have really true friends whom you can even trust. But there are different kinds of, for example, points that also you should follow, just not to give your logins, not to give your passwords, try to even if you upload photos, try to not to give them just public visibility, but also give them an opportunity just to see only your friends. There are some kinds of rules I think that we as teachers we should just pay attention and try to teach our students here. I think it's what's all from my side. Thank you very much.
The short and detailed presentation, especially on cyberbullying. And cyberbullying is a pandemic that is happening in each and every day of our lives, in the homes, in the schools, wherever we are. because everyone is right on the internet all the time. Thank you so much for that detailed presentation. Now, my next speaker I'm going to call upon is from Iran, Miss Azra Tajizi. She's here and she's going to share with us on cybercrime. Over to you, ma'am. Are you there?
Yes, I am here, and hello everyone, and good evening. Thank you very much, Dr. Patricia and Dr. Iman and IDM team for this amazing conference and every amazing event. And congratulations to all the colleagues and good luck for all. And I wanted to share my presentation. May I share my PPT?
Yes, you can share.
Is visible now?
Yes, yeah, it's this. We can see the screen.
Okay, thank you. And full screen now, yes. And yes, while
you haven't chosen the PowerPoint yet. We can't see the pictures yet.
Can you see now?
No, it's still on the folder showing items.
Okay, I will share again.
Yes.
Here it shows for me full screen. Is okay now?
No.
No?
Maybe you can close and start again.
Okay. I will stop sharing and again.
Yes.
I think it's visible now.
Yes, it's showing. Yes.
Okay. Yes. Yes. Well, the convenience of the digital age has made banking and shopping, sharing information, transferring files, data so much simpler, but it has also brought about the new risk of cybercrime. And then in our digital age, security has become more important than ever. And now I will cover some types of cybercrime and how we can protect from cyber attackers. And here you can see our contents: introduction, definition, history, cyber threat, evaluation, categories of cybercrime, types of cybercrime, prevention, security, and conclusion. And as you know, the internet network is growing rapidly. It has given rise to new opportunities in every field we can think of: entertainment, business, sports, or education. There are two sides of the coin. We have challenges and advantages by internet networking. And here we provide the challenges of cybercrime. Internet has also its own advantage. Cybercrime, illegal activity coming to internet. Cybercrime is a criminal activity done using computers and the internet. It includes downloading illegal music files to stealing millions of dollars, non-monetary offenses, creating and distributing viruses on other computers, and posting confidential business information on the internet. And crime committed to using a computer and internet to steal data or information, illegal imports, malicious programs. And as history, the first recorded cybercrime took place in the year 1820. And categorization of cybercrime: computer as a target, computer as a weapon. Types of cybercrime: hacking, denial of service attack, virus dissemination, computer vandalism, cyber terrorism, and software piracy. Hacking. Hacking in simple terms means illegal intrusion into a computer system or network. Denial of service attack, act by the criminal who floods the bandwidth the victim's network. Is his email box with spam mail depriving of him services and malicious software that various dissemination is malicious software that attaches itself to other software, various forms, Trojan horse, webjacking, email bombing, and etc. Computer vandalism, damaging or destroying data rather than stealing, transmitting viruses. Cyber terrorism, use of internet-based attacks in terrorist activities. Technology savvy terrorists around using 512-byte encryption, which is impossible to decrypt. Software privacy, theft of software through the illegal copying of genuine programs, distribution of products intended to pass for original. And here you can see cyber safety or cyber e-security. It is a common term used to describe it means cyber security, IT security knowledge about how to control and recover from cyber attackers. It is common term used to describe a set of practices, measures, and or actions you can take to protect your personal information or your computer data. And my last word, capacity of human mind is mysterious. Elimination of cybercrime is impossible in cyberspace. A main witness is its history. The main possible step is creating awareness. Awareness is in its duties and rights. I would like to conclude with a word of caution for the prologization school that provisions of cyber law are not made stringent, that it would affect the growth of industry. And also, we can protect our students from cyber risks by taking these steps. These steps limit our personal information and we share online, providing safer resources for our students, teaching our students about internet safety, and we can also them with safe resources that protect them from the harmful resources. And e-safety, as we know that as schools' ability to safeguard, protect, educate students in acceptable use of technology and communication. Thank you very much for your attention, and I will stop by sharing.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Azra. We took so many nuggets from you. We learned quite a lot, cyber terrorism, and then safety practices that you shared with us. Thank you so much for taking your time to be with us and sharing with us on cybercrime.
Thank you for inviting me.
Okay, now we move on to our next speaker from Tunisia. Is she around? Ms. Hayat Hisni?
Yes, ma'am. Hello. Greetings from Tunisia.
Welcome, and the podium is yours. Over to you.
Thank you, ma'am. First, let me thank IDYM for inviting me today to talk about this meaningful topic, especially nowadays with technological development. And so, thank you for you. Thank you for all panelist speakers for sharing their valuable speech and presentations as they do always. So, what is cybercrime? It's I will first make a definition. It's a criminal activity that either targets or uses a computer network or network device, and these crimes are committed by cyber criminals to make money or for personal or political reasons. Criminals can infect computers with malware or viruses to stop them from working or delete some data. Cybercrime takes place on individuals who use smartphones or computers. Cybercrime is an international phenomenon. Taking children, it can touch children, women, and youth, and is considered transcontinental crime. It's an immoral behavior that is prohibited by law and is punishable by law also, as it is one of the most serious challenges facing countries. It has become the focus of attention of governments in the world. I will mention some types of cybercrime: electronic espionage, backup via email and the internet, theft of financial data or card payment data, company data, theft and sale, encrypted theft. The methods used in cybercrime: hacking and using information data, software piracy, which is the illegal copying of software, scientific thefts such as the theft of researches or books, stalking, cybercrime prevention methods. I will try to mention some of them. Encryption by covering clear text into incomprehensible text on the network and thus blocking information on the internet. Use of firewall is used as a barrier between the internet from the inside and its servers, which enables the user to filter the incoming and outgoing information. Digital signature. It's a technique that contributes to not forgiving electronic message. Make backup copies of all sensitive information and data and save it on non-network disks. Use systems that detect all intentions. Establish network policies. So, how to protect the children from cybercrime? Parents can protect their children from cybercrime by preserving their privacy on the internet, control everything that the child does on the internet by setting some parental control tools on the child's device. Talk and teach the child about how to recognize false information. Pay attention to all suspicious behavior on video conferencing and ask the children or child to leave so as to protect him from unknown participants. Explain to the child the importance of a strong password and not reveal it to strangers or not even to friends, as it is considered the key to the house. Monitor what the child is doing by monitoring his activities and talking to him about the dangers of clicking on links that contains false offers and the need to control parents before clicking on these links, not revealing too much, not to disclose personal information such as full name, contact information, and school name too. Continuously update the operating systems of the devices by making sure to use the latest updates that include the necessary protection tools to keep the family safe. We all must be careful and wary of electronic crimes, as the lives of some people have turned into hell because they fall prey to hacking due to their ignorance of the procedures for preventing instructions. As educator, I will talk about Safer Internet Day. We every year, me and my students, in February 8th of each year, we celebrate the Safer Internet Day in our schools. We played some games. We made this folders, theater. I also invite psychological some people who are very competent in psychology to make them aware about how to be safe on net. For example, last year we have prepared a folder which contains some tips in both English language and Arabic language and distribute it to many students in our schools as well. We shared it in social media. We make various to let people aware, especially young learners. I can read some of those tips. For example, use the internet is a great way to communicate with other people, but it's important to remember dangers and know how to keep safe. In order to stay safe, you should follow these commands. First, don't chat with strangers. Don't give away any parents' personal details to people that you don't know. You must never tell people your mobile phone number or your home, school, or email address. Never send a photo of yourself either. Don't open emails, downloads, or attachments from people you don't know. They can have viruses or unwanted messages inside. If you get an email which disturbs you, you must tell a responsible about and don't reply to it. Be aware of spams. They are usually intended for adults and sometimes they are disturbing, but there is special software to stop spam. Speak to your parents about it if you are worried. Never met anyone you are contacted over the internet without a parent's permission. Never give your password to anyone. Keep it completely secret. Don't even tell your friends, and do not use the names of your family or pets in forming it, because people can guess them easily. Use a mix of letters and numbers instead. Don't agree to a private chat with someone if you don't already know them in real life. Download games, music, films, programs from websites, any websites. They may include viruses. So they enjoyed to make this folder, and the other students enjoyed to get it, to learn about how to be safe on net. Then thank you for your attention. That's all for me today. Miss Patricia, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for those useful tips that we can use as adults, that we can use also in our schools on internet safety. Thank you for the
welcome.
presentation.
Welcome, ma'am.
All right. Our next speaker is from Lebanon. Miss Maha Shade, are you there? Miss Maha? Maha? Are you
Hello,
there?
everyone. Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, greeting from Lebanon. It's a great pleasure to be with you today. I would like to thank Idymicc for giving me this chance, and also I would like to thank all the previous speakers for their amazing presentation. Let me share my screen. Just a minute.
Yes, you can.
I didn't understand that. Just a minute. Sorry. Just I have to check something. Okay. Is it okay?
Is it showing?
Yeah, sorry, just I think now it's fine. Can you see my screen just to be sure about that?
Yes, it's opening up.
Okay, so let me start. Actually, today I decided to speak about something that happened with me personally. I was about to be a victim of cybercrime, but hopefully, just due to my know about middle literacy, I was able to avoid that. I'm gonna start just giving you an idea about, I'm not gonna repeat what is cybercrime, hence the speaker did that in an amazing way, and in order to save time, I'm gonna move directly to a cybercrime that I was about to be a victim of. Actually, I'm trying to find a job abroad. I live recently, I live in Lebanon, and I'm trying to find a job abroad. So I applied what they call it a Gulf Monster. Here, it's just a website. If you would like, for example, to have a certain job, you are going to upload your CV, and many schools or university are going to check and call you in case they are going to be interested. So just a month ago, or no, 15 or 20 days ago, I received just a message from the university. They saying that they have checked my CV, and they believe that I'm going to be shortlisted for a certain employment at their university. What I'm supposed to do is it just to send them my new updated CV. Actually, I was happy just to know that I'm going to have a job vacancy at Abu Dhabi. Exactly. I responded. If you are going, for example, I just have a screenshot of the email. Everything seemed fine. I didn't actually, because I applied for many schools. I didn't just feel that there is something wrong. Here you can see, I tried just to include in my email, you can see that everything was fine. We have the email of the university, their website. I go to the website and I check the information. Everything sounds with respect to me fine. I replied to the person who sent me the email, and I answered all the interview question and sent my my updated resume. Here you can just have an idea about screenshot about my email. Later on, after that, 2 days later on, everything was going great. Just time between the first email and the second email. Just later on, they mentioned that I received another email saying that they checked my updated email and they are very happy to tell me that I'm successful, and they are going to send me the job offer because they feel that I'm supposed to be fit for the position which I was applying for. Actually, receiving the congratulation and the job offer, I was very happy and excited at that moment. Actually, finally just having a chance to teach April. So what happened next? I just having, if you can see here, this is the job offer I received from the university, and in each email, they put the data, person to contact with him, phone number, everything, the website of the university and everything. When I just opened the job offer, I started to read. It was also normal, like any other one I received recently. I started to read the information and everything was fine. They highlighted everything, my position in the university, what I'm supposed to do, the salary, where I'm supposed, if I'm going to have accommodation, transportation, vacation, everything sounds interesting and great. But while reading, and here you can see also part of the job offer, you can see the website of the university, email, all the details, the phone numbers, everything. And also not only that, you can see that they mention congratulations, the name of the human resource manager, his email, everything. And also if I would like, for example, to call him, and I'm supposed, they told me that I'm supposed to start preparing my visa because I need a visa to travel to that place. Reading the job offer for the first time and the second time, it was fine. But because you say, because I read a lot about media literacy, because I taught my students a lot about how we are supposed to be secure dealing with such types of email, even though I told you everything sounds fine, I decided to go to the internet and I searched about the university. And as I told you, it was fine. They asked for a vacancy. What took my attention during that time, here, the name of this person. I didn't know why. Reading it again, I decided to do a search for the human resource manager because I thought he's a well-known person. He's working in a university. So I'm supposed to find him in LinkedIn because I consider it is something confidential. That's what came to mind after I checked the phone number. It was matching. The email and everything was matching. I just decided to search for the human resource manager who sent me, I have a name of two people in this job offer, the one who sent me the message and the one who has the signature that accepted. I go to Google. Understand that. Like usually, Google is my best friend. And I started just doing investigation about this person. What took my attention during that time, when I started to search about the name of the manager, the name written inside the job offer was the same, like only we have just one letter. I didn't find him. I found actually this person, Abdulrahman, Dr. Abdulrahman Fakhreddin. If I'm going to go up to up here, you can find it. It is the same name. They just change spelling name. Instead of having, for example, Abdulrahman, he wrote it A, it was written A. Here, I started just to think, no, it is not logic that we have a human resource manager and his name, I'm not gonna find him in LinkedIn, or I'm not going to find him, for example, on Facebook. He doesn't have an official social media platform. And it's also not just by, if when I say that I'm going to find the same person with the same position with but different name. Just here we have the spelling. Checking his LinkedIn, I noticed that the university have a problem. Someone they did the hacking for the university account, and he put, in order to warn people, he put in his LinkedIn profile scam alert that they have a problem with their email, they have hacking, and some people are trying to fabricate documents. Okay, they fabricate documents, they are using his name in order to send job vacancy and offers for people. And later on, I read that some people were victims. One of the ladies when I wrote comment below his name, told me that she prepared, she was a teacher, she prepared her visa, she paid her money in order to travel, even though she asked her principal here in Lebanon that she's gonna quit her job. She quit her job in order because she started preparing her document to travel to Abu Dhabi. So the only difference is between me and her that when I received the offer, I still feeling that whenever it's come from online, I'm supposed to follow all the details. Here we have another lady. She was about to be a victim of such types of cyber crime, and she mentioned that she received to be also to be a victim. So that was everything about my experience. I felt that I'm supposed to share my experience with you. Because we as educator, we are supposed just to be cautious. We are supposed to be smart whenever we want to deal with internet, word or online is an amazing. We can get a lot of benefit from it, but at the same time, we are supposed to be cautious. We are supposed to be smart. We should know what we are supposed to share with our people. We should know how to manage our own privacy, because the university and the doctor, even though he's holding a very good position, he has a problem with managing his privacy, and he end up having this, and many people are using his name, fabricate his name and his signature in order just to have a bad reputation for him, and also to gain money from another people. So we are supposed to be careful what we are gonna share on Facebook or all social media platforms. We should know how to manage our own privacy. We should usually ask for help. For example, I never hesitate to ask my sister about if it is a real job offer, because my sister is expert in social media more than me. She's working in the field. So if you feel that you have a problem, even though we are educator, don't be hesitant to ask for help. Ask professional people, ask expert about such technical issues, because we have technical issues. Maybe we don't know all about the details. We should respect each other. We should respect the privacy of other people. And usually, whatever, we are not supposed to be deceived, because social media is full of fake words. Full of fake issue. We are supposed to think in a critical way, and also to trust our instinct in order to tell us exactly where is the truth. That's everything. I don't want to just to take time from others from other speakers.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Maha, for sharing us the smart way to use the internet. Sorry about what might have happened to you. It has happened to many people, and it will happen to many. So next, I'm going to call upon Tsiko Jamaspishvili from Georgia. Are you there, Tsiko? If not, then I'm going to call upon Shokia Hawari from Palestine. Thank you. Thank you. Let's mind our time. We are sharing. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Ms. Patricia. So glad to join you. Thank you, Dr. Iman. Thank you, all the speakers and the organizers. After Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Peace be upon you. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon for everybody. I'm so glad to be with such distinguished educators from all over the world. Let's now share and begin my presentation, and I hope that you will enjoy it. It is about cybercrime. I'm, of course, Shawqiya Hawawra from Palestine, and thanks God, I am an MIE expert for the 3rd year, inshallah, and this is a very big achievement for me. Yes, Now, my objectives today are, I will talk about what is cybercrime and what are the kinds of cybercrime, what are the reasons for it, and some tips to prevent cybercrimes, and then if there is time, some discussion. When we mention the word cybercrime, there are...
Because it is too dangerous.
Yes, please mute yourselves. Yes, please mute yourselves. Yes, thank you. Now, when we mention the word cybercrime, many words come to our minds. Like, for example, security, class, data, inequality, illegal, hatred, many hacking, for example, and many other ones. So what is cybercrime? It is the criminal activity that either targets or uses a computer or a computer network or a network device. So it is connected with somehow with technology. And most cybercrime is committed by cyber criminals or hackers who want to make money. Sometimes they make money, they want to make money. Sometimes there are other reasons. And if we return to the history of cybercrime, it began or it took place in 1820, and this is the first time that it took place, and it is a very urgent issue, and we should be responsible and aware of its bad effects and sequences. Who carries the cybercrime? As we said, maybe it is individuals or organizations. Sometimes the individuals themselves commit this issue, and sometimes organizations. And there are some types of cyber criminals. Maybe they are organized, which means that they are connected with some organization, either locally or globally, and sometimes they are novice. Most cybercrime falls under two main categories: criminal activity that targets, and also some activity that uses computer to commit other crimes. And it is spreading nowadays, and it happens many times to us, especially for those who use computers, for example. And there are many reasons for it. Sometimes it is a political one, in order to indulge them, in order to offense them, in order to of hatred, due to hatred sometimes, or sometimes there are personal reasons. If they hate some person, they want to hacker their computers, take their information, etc. So there are many types of cyber crimes. For example, like hacking, which is simple term that means illegal intrusion by using a computer system and others. And there are motives behind the crime. Some motives, for example, like greedy. Yes, when there are some greedy persons, for example, to revenge them, sometimes for adventure, just for liking adventure, to make tricks by other people, for example, and many other reasons. Yes, Bismillah. Now, if we want to say how can we protect ourselves against cybercrime, there are many means that we should follow. Do not click on links in spam emails. Many times we have spam emails, so don't click them just for knowing what is in these emails. Just be aware of that. Also, do not give your personal information, like, for example, the password for security, and also contact companies directly about suspicious requests. When you have some links which you are suspicious about them, don't open them. Also, be mindful of which website URLs you visit. Not all URLs you should visit. Be aware of that, because it is very dangerous and harmful. Also, keep an eye on your bank statements. Do not, for example, transmit or exchange your passwords with others. Okay, so those are some important things. Bismillah. Yes, sorry. Sorry for that. Yes, sorry. Just I will close it and another time open it. So sorry.
Is it opening?
Yes, yes. Wait a minute, please. So sorry.
All right.
Yes, so sorry. Yes, so sorry. Another time. It seems that sometimes something wrong happens with me. So sorry. It doesn't open. I will try another time. So sorry. Yes, should I stop and then complete after the other speaker? It seems that I have some problem. It doesn't open.
Okay.
So sorry.
Okay, great.
We
Thanks.
can call another speaker whilst you're trying to open. It's okay. Let me now hand you over to Dr. Iman to take over from where I am now.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, Dr. Shauqiya. Greetings to Palestine. You did a smart lecture. Now it's the time of
I didn't finish.
Yes.
Yes, I will try another time. Thank you.
Dr. Frederick, but before calling him, I need only to talk about IDYM, okay? It's the right of the place because we are invited via this great platform. So let's know what is IDYM. IDYM has a very well-known phrase. This phrase is nation first, always first. I appreciate this phrase too much. IDYM has many platforms and many branches and many accounts in social media. IDYM Foundation is an abbreviation of Igniting Dreams of Young Minds Foundation. IDYM Foundation performs workshop on satellite lectures on space function as hope of professionals and educators. Empowers the young minds to unmask and uncover the latent potentials, enhances the power of imagination, and prepares them ready to serve the country for achieving the goal, self-reliant India. IDYM has a positive attitude and resilience, ignited the dreams of young minds for a happy and fulfilling life. IDYM, as I said before, is an abbreviation of Igniting Dreams of Young Minds Foundation. It's a series of companies, is a platform to promote space and satellite education for every young mind, that is for the entire student community from any and college. Please unmute yourself. I can't unmute you because I need to introduce IDYM. So please mute your mic. Thanks for your understanding. Sorry, I need to unmute mics. Sorry, Dr. Kali. Sorry, we need to mute your mic. Sorry. Okay, let's return to IDYM. As I said, IDYM is a platform to promote space and satellite education for every young mind. That is for the entire student community from any school and college all over the globe. IDYM Foundation is currently connecting all such space experts with every young mind, and it is on track to cover the states as early as possible with future aim to build a space school in India. IDYM, sorry, Dr. Shauqiya, please stop share screen, please. IDYM has 400 space exploration program, has 28 states, has 52 and more communities. Let's say appreciation and hats off to IDYM. We need to thank and we need to say we are grateful and thankful to Mr. Ravi because you are doing great things, to Miss Donnie Lasmi and to her mother and all teamworks of IDYM. Thanks a lot for IDYM for connecting all of us, for creating such great conferences and workshops. So again, hats off to IDYM, and let's go to the next speaker because time is running. We need to call, as I said before, Dr. Frederick. Sorry.
Yes, shall I continue? Sorry, Dr. Iman.
Dr. Shauqiya, you can continue after the end because I called another speaker. I am so sorry. You can continue after the end, okay?
Yes.
Dr. Frederick, if you are ready, you can start. If you are not ready, Dr. Shauqiya can continue. Dr. Frederick, are you with us?
Yes, I'm there. I'm around. Thank you.
Most
Thank
welcome.
you,
The floor is
moderator.
yours.
Pardon?
Most welcome.
Yes, thank you very much. Are you
Go
hearing
ahead.
me?
But I need to announce one important point because we have another workshop directly after this conference, so we need to stick to the time. Please stick to the time. 5 minutes is the maximum. I'm so sorry. Please go ahead. We are waiting for you. Most welcome.
Okay, thank you very much, moderator. And thank you, IDM. I'm here to talk about cybercrime. As we all know, my name is Dr. Frederick Ebotashu. I hail from the University of Boya here in Cameroon. Well, I'm going to look at cybercrime in different directions. I know my fellow presenters have discussed about different aspects of cybercrime. So looking at the content of my presentation, I would like to understand the audience to understand what cybercrime is actually. That's the new perspective of cybercrime and the type of cybercrimes affecting businesses and individuals in 2022. I'll also discuss about cybercrimes in Cameroon, which is very important, and also preventive measures of cybercrimes, what the government have put in place to combat cybercrime in Cameroon. I will also talk about international preventive measures and how we can do to have a global community that care about cybercrime. Okay, good. So if we talk about cybercrime, there are different perspectives of cybercrime, of using the internet. You know, I just want to talk about the modern ways of especially what that affects my country, Cameroon. You know, the aspect of people using the internet and stealing money from banks, from people's accounts, and in companies' portfolios, stealing information, stealing intellectual properties, and also using for pornographic and abusing of child trafficking and all those things, and also spreading false information, terrorism, are some very critical issues that are disturbing my nation, Cameroon, and also disturbing other developing countries. Because if you look at it critically, you realize that most of the problems, you know, causing war or maybe tensions or difficulties, it's been originated sometimes people in Western society or maybe in America, and everything is done through the internet. So those are the aspects of cyber crimes which I'm going to be looking at today. And so If you look at the different types of cyber crimes, I know you people have already, most presenters have already talked about phishing scams, about website spoofing, and then ransomware, the malware, the IoT hacking, information warfare, and we also talk some of the biggest cyber crime, which indiscriminate attacks, destructive attacks of people. We also talk about cyber warfare and government espionage. You know, there are people using the internet to espionage what the government, society is actually doing, or maybe opportunities of how they could exploit money, or maybe revenues from one country to another. We also have people who are also using the internet to study about knowledge and technology, or demographic data, economic aspects, political issues, and they take advantage on some minority communities who are very ignorant, or ignorant government who actually are unaware of some of these things. You see, corporate espionage is mostly done by international organizations. You know, international organizations, I can say, I don't want to call any name here at this time. You know, they come here in the pretense of charity, let me call it charity, you know, to do some voluntary, or maybe to help a country, like a poor developing country. And they've been taking advantage for many years, since in the days of colonization and what, you know, brought even slavery and all those type of aspects. It's all cyber crime. I mean, in those days of colonization, there was no cyber crime, but those are the modern ways of slavery and imperialism, which has been going on in most developing countries. Then we'll talk about things like stolen emails, address, and login credentials, stolen credit cards. There are so many aspects. And we talk about the type 2 cyber crimes, with our other spectrum, cyber stalking and harassment, you know, harassment of government officials, harassment of political leaders, harassment of ambassadors. So cybercrime has been there for many years, and it's actually causing a lot of disasters. So some other major categories are the crime against people, against innocent people, innocent women, children. In some villages in Cameroon, for example, children are not going to school. And when children are not going to school, the community, it's stuck. It's not moving anywhere. But all these things resulted from cybercrimes, from espionage, and on the internet, which has reversed now to violence. We also identity theft. People steal people's credit cards and identity to use to make things, and to steal money from banks and so on. So crimes against property and crimes against government. So there's some crimes against government, which is very, very bad. Because some of the time, if you look at the critical problems, what is happening, let me say in Congo, or maybe say in Cameroon, you know, or in some developing countries, you will discover that it's not just the hands of the people, of the community. Let me say Cameroon, for example, it's organized crime, which is being organized by other nations instigating maybe citizens through cyber communication to distort the life of other people in the community. So I'm gonna now try to proceed to review, to look at cybercrime, especially in Cameroon. So let me tell you guys something very important. Cameroon have lost about 12.2 billion to cybercrime in 2021. In 2021, that is the statistics which is gathered from Idymicc. Idymicc is a national agency for information communication technology. So that is the money which it's being stolen by people using fraudulent information through the internet. Fraud, negotiating with banks, people impersonating themselves and stealing money out of Cameroon and taking it out of the nation. That's crippling the economy of the country. So let's try to review some of the 2021 figures. The financial loss amounting to 2.5 billion caused by intrusion into public and private IT systems. Scam and phishing caused about 6 billion losses, and skimming, copying banking cards data by installing specific equipment on ATM cost about 3.7 billion lost. And in 2020, Idymicc, as I said, which is the government, is the organization supporting Cameroon against or protecting Cameroon against cybercrimes, report that 6 billion was lost to bank fraud in 2019. So the method, basic business email correspondent, that's some FOVI is a French institution to impersonate executive. So most of this money were people impersonating others. People use different identities, people using the identities of other people to steal money from the bank. So those are some of the issues which we have had here in Cameroon. So according to the Idymicc audit, in the Idymicc audit, 27,052 vulnerabilities detected.
Dr. Frederick, I'm so sorry for interrupting you, but time is running over. So you have only 1 minute, okay?
Okay, so what I'm trying to say here now, the cybercrime in Cameroon, there are so many measures which have been put in place. They organize seminars in schools to teach to the community on how to handle fraud and all those type of things. We are very grateful for Idymicc, which have been helping out to solve criminal issues. We also now talk about the international perspective of cybercrime and the international preventive measures. The Council of Europe Action Against Cybercrime, grace to them. They have implementing laws for all nations and international communities. The Budapest Convention of Cybercrime is an important aspect. One of the things which they have come with a framework, especially attacking head of states, countries, nations, societies. So they are looking on all these type of aspects in order to protect nations, communities. I think a national policy should be well promoted in every nation, and there should be a union where all head of state or maybe the governments can sit together to try to combat cybercrime. I hope I've not taken much of the time, and I hope I've provided an overview of my understanding of what I've tried to learn about cybercrime. Cybercrime, it's a very difficult thing because a lot of people are using it not only to individuals, nations are using it to attack other nations, undermining the development of other nations, but others are using for the development of other people. So we should be more positive the way we use the internet, using it for good because it's meant for good and not for bad. Thank you very much, moderator, and thank you very much, IDM. I'm so glad to be able to present what I have to say about cybercrime, and I'm very grateful. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Frederick, for doing a very smart lecture. Thank you. Let's move to the next speaker. She is remaining from the first part. So sorry, Dr. Patricia, and so sorry for myself. I delayed both of us because we are from the same school, which is called servant leadership. So I'm so sorry. Dr. Laura will deliver her lectures, then if there is enough time, I'll do my own. If there is not, so allow me to apologize. Let's welcome Dr. Laura again.
Greetings, everyone. I'm Laura Sanchez from Romania.
You have
Thank you.
5 minutes. Okay, so go ahead.
Okay, I will be brief. Thank you, IDYM, for giving me the opportunity to be here and thank you, Ravi sir. And this is a very important issue because we live in the age of computers, internet, social media, and networks that connect the world. And in this context, it is becoming increasingly important to make the internet a safe environment. Everything is digital, everything is hyper connected, and in this way, cyber attacks are more likely to happen. Cybercrime is an ongoing threat, and some of the ones who are vulnerable and can easily become victims of cybercrime are our students. So, as educators, it is our duty to make the digital environment a safe one for our students by teaching them how to prevent cybercrime, how not to become victims of cyberbullying, for example. The first step is, of course, as speakers before me mentioned, communication. Communication is always essential. We should teach children, teach our students of all ages to talk to parents or legal guardians or teachers about the time they are spending online and the things that are happening there. Teach them not to share too much information, especially sensitive information like the school they attend, their address, or the clubs that they join. Research indicates that 1 in 5 children and teenagers have been the victim of cyberbullying. Especially during the COVID-19 pandemic, cyberbullying escalated because of the amount of time they spent online. Cyberbullying increased by 70%, and online gaming bullying and toxicity increased by 40%. And these details only prove that the internet is a place where violence can be more present than in real life, because the computer screen offers the perfect shield to hide someone's identity and a distance from which they feel they can attack. However, the victims are more alone in the digital world. It is a universe accessible only to them and their peers, their colleagues from school, or fellow online game players. For example, they can only ask for help from a parent or teacher when they are away from their computers. That is why it is important to teach them to take certain steps in order to avoid cyberbullying. So, as I said, never reveal the information that might be used against them, especially if they have friends or followers that they don't know very well. Remind them that the people are not always who they claim to be online. Sometimes people use fake photos, fake names to attract or gather information about others. So they should always keep this in mind. Teach students to be also mindful about which photos they are sharing and tell them to always think before they post something. Taking some time to think about the content they are posting might keep them from placing online the things they might later regret. And some of those things might be used against them. So always choose carefully the content they are sharing. We should also tell them to refuse to respond to cyber bullies, because the cyber bullies are looking for an emotional response. If they do not respond, they do not enter this dangerous game. Ask them always to tell a parent if they are victims or potential victims of cyberbullying. And if this happens, they should be able to have proof in order to report it. Make sure that they know they should always report cyberbullying. And this includes not only telling someone about it, but also reporting it to the social media platforms or the internet providers and appropriate authorities if case might be. Teach them not to be bystanders. And if they hear about cases like this, to do their best to help, to reach out a helping hand, because cyberbullying can have very powerful effects, and the effects can also be long lasting. Teach students to be tolerant and empathic. Always keep an open heart and always be ready to help others and not to bully. Never become a person's enemy, but rather a friend. Teach them to use technology in a safe and responsible way. Because remember, technology and the internet are not the issue. It is the people who use them that can cause harm. So let us use technology to do good and in a responsible way. Thank you so much, IDYM, for giving me the opportunity to be here today. Thank you.
Thank you, my dear sister. Really, you did amazing, smart, short lecture. Appreciation. Now we need to move to our lovely moderator, Dr. Patricia. I need to introduce her. She will be the speaker of now. And if there is enough time, I'll deliver a few minutes. If there is not, it's okay. So go ahead, my dear sister, Dr. Patricia.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Dr. Iman. Most of the items have been discussed, especially I had a PowerPoint on cyberbullying, but because of time, I'm not going to share it, but I'm just going to talk about the impact of especially cyberbullying, because cyberbullying itself has caused a much impact, especially socially, emotionally, physically, and psychologically, even economically. There are people who have lost their income. There are people who have lost their revenue due to blackmailing, due to scams. And then we have people who want to extort something like what the former speaker talked about when she was talking about her getting a vacancy that was a scam. So cyberbullying has got a very bad impact because it has also made families ripped apart due to online violations, due to harassments that have taken place within the families. And if it can happen within even our inner circles, our family settings, our churches, our workplaces, by people we know, people whom we love, people whom we trust. Let's not share something confidentially that can be sent or resent and resent to someone outside, and boom, it goes viral. Let's consider the impact it causes on the families. It causes on the family breakdown. It causes on the loss of lives. We've had people committing suicide just by a one message that has been sent online. And we have had so many threats. So let's make sure that we don't share videos like our guest speaker talked about. Let's not share photos of us of ourselves, mostly in compromising situations to anyone, and you do not have any control after sharing that photo. And let's teach our children that if someone is cyberbullying you, there's a button called block. You can block them, you can mute them, you can unfriend them. This idea of having so many followers on Instagram, on Snapchat, it's very dangerous sometimes because you get so many messages that violate your digital space. So let's watch what we post, and also as adults, let's be role models. Let's lead by example. Let's teach our children. I know I can say much, but let's communicate with our children, because sometimes we do not identify when they are the victims of cyberbullies. And then we also have our children who are perpetrators, and we hear our parents saying, no, my child is not a bully. There are some signs that you can tell that this one is a victim, this one is a perpetrator. So in most countries, I know cyberbullying is a criminal offense, and you can report it to the police if you feel threatened to an extent where ignoring the assault is not helping. The victim also needs our support, our continued support, the love from families, the love from friends. And let's be attentive to signs of potential online harassment, especially with our children, because they bottle it in and it eats them. up to a point where someone can even lose a life. And as adults, let's cultivate and culture a positive moral of values. And let's have numbers of people who can help us if we've got children who have been, even adults who have been harassed online, the helpline, the counselors. And whenever we want, we have to consult our family members and listen to their ideas, their experiences, and their suggestions. And then let's encourage family members always to seek help when they are being cyberbullied or when they've got cybercrime issues. Thank you so much for giving me this time. I had to hurry. I had so much to say, but I don't have time. Over to you, Dr. Iman. I'm going to introduce to you our next speaker, our last speaker. I suppose if we don't have anyone who has joined us, we have Dr. Iman Alam from Egypt, an esteemed speaker. We have met in different platforms, especially on IDYM. Over to you, Dr. Iman.
My dear sister, thanks a lot for your efforts as a moderator. Thanks for being highly appreciated speaker. I love to hear from your side. I'm very happy to be with you today as a moderator. Now, I need to give myself only 2 minutes. I'll talk about Egypt. Not only I wanted to talk about Egypt, as an educator, as an academic staff member, I wanted to say something. All people now are thinking about the power of knowledge, the power of information, but allow me to disagree with some points. For example, the power of information, I need to respect, I need to appreciate, but I need to appreciate the source of this information. It must be polite and legal information. I am not allowed to interrupt or disturb the life of others. I'm not allowed to make others as a victim of information. Information must build a nation, must be used to build nations. So we must appreciate the privacy of others. We must appreciate cybersecurity and so on. So we are not allowed to disturb or interrupt the life of others by using the power of information, and we can be a source of danger for another people. As an educator, I am trying to involve this point inside the minds of my students. As an educator, I need to learn and teach them ethics of science before learning and educating them science. We need to magnify the issue of ethics. You are great when you can appreciate others, not you are great because you have a huge data. No, we need to have legal data. We need to have legal information. For example, if I am taking any paragraph from any paper, I'm stealing it without referring to the reference. So I am educating my students ethics of science before educating them the science. It's an issue of awareness. As you know, I have my PhD 10 years ago in science, but now I am going to have another PhD in the area of intellectual property rights. We need to appreciate intellectual property rights. We need to appreciate cyber security. We need to appreciate the right of others. In case of Egypt, if I need to highlight my country, these crimes are individual and rare, and also can be erased by increasing awareness. We are ongoing to increase awareness. It's not an issue of legal and an issue of texts of laws. It's an issue of appreciation of laws. It's an issue of awareness. So we need to highlight ethics all over the world. We need to appreciate others before appreciating information. I can get many and huge amount of information about any person, but how can I use it? I'm not allowed to use information about anyone illegally. Before looking to laws, also all religions forbid us to misuse information of others, to hack others. to try to hear anything about others and try to defame the person. I have some knowledge about them, him or her. We need to appreciate. It's an issue of ethics and appreciation. Now we went to the end. Now we need to say thanks IDYM. I need to thank my dear colleague, Dr. Patricia. I need to thank our lovely and our great speakers. If we still have our great guest speaker, General Dr. Muhammad Ali, we need to thank you. We are very grateful and we are very thankful to your presence. Let's thank all colleagues, all speakers. Today we have 18 speakers from 18 countries. Thanks a lot. Thanks, Dr. Soleil, for giving us some of her time related to her workshop. Thanks, IDYM. Thanks, all speakers. And finally, Jai Hind, Jai all countries. Appreciation to all. And thanks, IDYM. Thanks a lot. And Dr. Patrick, if you need to say anything, the floor is yours.
Okay, I would like to say thank you so much. Thank you, Dr. Iman. Thank you, IDYM, Jai Hind, everyone. Enjoy the last days of your weekend, the last hours of your weekend. We have another session coming soon. I would like to say thank you all. Enjoy the last part of your weekend.
Most welcome.
Thank you. It was really enlightening.
Most welcome.
Thank you, Patricia.
Most welcome.
Thank you, Patricia and Iman. You are always wonderful as moderators.
Most welcome.
And thank you, IDM, as well.
Most welcome. Most welcome. Most welcome. All of you are most welcome. Thanks for our respected attendees. Dr. Ptikar, we are happy to have you today from the first moment. All our colleagues, all of you are most welcome. So now we reach to the end. And thanks again to IDYM. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Apology to someone who didn't finish off. Next time, our time wasn't allowing us.
Yes, we exceed our time by 10 minutes. I'm so sorry.
Over to you, technical team.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Ma'am, one sir has joined. Please take
Goodbye.
him, please take him.
Au revoir from Cameroon.
That Uganda from Swaminathan sir has joined. Please take him now.
Yes, what?
He left.
Hello? We
Okay,
are
no problem.
done. We are done.
Close it, ma'am. Close it.
We can't hear you.
Close it. Bind up.
Can you hear him, what he's saying?
Yes. I'm trying, but I didn't get it. Dr. Rafi, can you repeat? Okay, at all, we are here. We are waiting for Dr. Soni. Okay.
Goodbye from Cameroon. Thank you so much for everything.
Most welcome.
Yeah, thank you.